Anna's point of view. The elevator mirror threw back my reflection, a deep red dress clinging like a second skin, tracing every dip and curve. I could almost feel Declan's large hands fisting the fabric, tearing it in one rough motion. The image sent a shiver down my spine. My thighs tightened in anticipation. Perfect. Our first anniversary. Everything had to be flawless. He'd barely responded to my messages all week, but I told myself it was the hospital keeping him busy. His schedule said he was off today. He'd probably even forgotten what day it was. I'd surprise him. But when I reached his apartment door, my blood turned to ice. A pair of Jimmy Choo heels lay sprawled in the entryway. Not mine. A nurse's salary couldn't afford $4,000 shoes. Was he cheating? The thought flickered, and I crushed it. A week ago, his fingers had left bruises on my hips, his breath hot at my ear. Until I saw it with my own eyes, I refused to believe it. This wasn't blind trust. It was 10 years of knowing him. I'd known Declan for a decade and loved him in silence for just as long. He wasn't the type to waver. His obsessive focus made him one of the top surgeons in the city. In all those years, I'd only seen him in one serious relationship. Nicole, the supermodel who'd graced Vogue covers before dumping him for a Hollywood producer. They could never get back together. I knew that better than anyone. Declan would sooner cut off his hands than forgive betrayal. So then, why me? What was I compared to Nicole? A gambling father, a mother with cancer, a dropout brother mixed up with gangs. A bitter taste rose in my mouth. My only advantage was stubborn resilience. The fact that, despite my trash-tier life, I'd still clawed my way into the same med school as him. Perseverance was my weapon. Even so, Declan told me he loved me because of my persistence. I had loved him for 10 years. My hand hovered over the doorknob. A woman's breathy moan slid through the door. Fuck me. Declan, harder, I need it. That voice. Tell me, do you miss being inside me? She gasped. Declan's first love. The woman who'd shattered him. My blood turned to sludge. The floor tilted under me. As if the gaping hole in my chest wasn't enough, Declan's low groan followed. You bad girl, arch that ass up. A sharp, smack skin on skin. God. The walls were thin. Every filthy detail bled through. I should have left, but my legs were lead. Tears spilled without permission. I slid down the wall, dragging in air that wouldn't fill my lungs. Why? Why would Declan take her back? She was a viper. She'd betrayed him. He'd once sworn he'd kill her if she ever showed her face again. So was this his version, trying to break her with his body. Bastard. But I wouldn't break. The metallic tang of blood filled my mouth where I'd bitten my cheek. This is nothing, I told myself. My father's fists hadn't broken me. Neither would this. Then, like a switch, despair burned into rage. That bastard. I might not have money, but no one got to grind my pride into the floor. Fight back fast. That's how I survived. We're done. I should have kicked the door in and faced them. But I wouldn't waste my morning sandwich on their disgusting spectacle. Had my obedience made him this arrogant? Fine. If he could have someone else, so could I. I deserved to mark our anniversary too, didn't I? A fresh start. I hurled the roses into the hallway, trash and flagged a cab. The door shut, and the dam broke. I hadn't chased him. He came to me after Nicole left, hollow-eyed, whispering that he'd finally realized how blind he'd been, that he loved me, and that he was grateful I'd always stood by him. That night, we slept together. When he officially asked me out, I was powerless to resist. I crowned him king of my world, afraid to defy even a look. So when he insisted we keep us a secret from the hospital staff, I probably agreed before he finished the sentence. God. How stupid had I been? All his promises were lies. He'd used me to get over her. And like an idiot, I thought I'd finally won him. I was just the joker. A side character in their love story. Disgusting. I'd never forgive him. I needed to do something. Anything to scrub this from my skin. But where would I go? I had no friends. My life revolved around Mom's medical bills. No personal time, just grinding for bonuses. The taxi stopped outside a bar, snapping me out of it. Scotch neat, I said, slapping cash on the counter. The bartender slid the glass over. I downed it in one burning gulp. The alcohol scorched my throat, nothing compared to the fire raging in my chest. Another, I called. Easy there, beautiful. A low, velvety voice to my right. I turned, blinking through the dim light, and my breath hitched. God. He was gorgeous. A sharp jawline, an aristocratic nose, broad shoulders pushing against a black dress shirt, sleeves rolled to the elbows, corded muscle on display. But it was his eyes, dark, intent, predatory. They locked onto mine and held. My stomach flipped, dangerous. That was my first thought. I tried to look away, and couldn't. Why drink alone? He murmured, voice a rumble that vibrated through me. I sucked in a breath, lifting my glass to hide the tremor in my hands. Because my heart's broken, I said flatly, tossing back the drink. And I want to numb the pain. A lie. A challenge. A test. I knew exactly what I was doing. Tonight I didn't want to be alone. The sting of betrayal gnawed at me, and this stranger God, the way he looked at me, was the perfect distraction. His gaze sharpened, tracking every move. I could hear his breathing deepen. My pulse roared. Was I really this desperate? Is this why Declan didn't want me? Shame curdled in my gut. I slammed the glass down and pushed to stand. Wait. His hand closed around my wrist before I could turn firm, not painful. Alcohol won't numb anything, he said, voice rough, plucking the glass from my fingers. Those ice-blue eyes pinned me, predatory, unyielding. Talk to me instead. He leaned in. His mouth hovered inches from mine. Heat radiated from his touch, running up my arm and pooling low in my belly. My thighs pressed together, traitorous. His mouth was sin, and I was already falling. Kiss me, I said, demanded. His breath hitched. You sure? His lips brushed my ear and my brain short-circuited. Pure want shot down my spine. Declan betrayed you. You're done. There's nothing wrong with this. I fisted his shirt, tilted my face up. Yes, I want you tonight. A dark chuckle. Good girl. His arms banded around me, lifting me effortlessly. My nose bumped his chest, his heartbeat steady and strong against my cheek, and for the first time in hours, everything else fell away. Pain, morals, betrayal, Lucian's point of view. I tossed back the drink in one go, the burn searing down my throat. My face twisted in irritation. How dare she? Did she really think a single phone call was enough to erase 5 years of silence? That she could just waltz back into my life as if nothing had happened? I scoffed. Under my breath. One more, I muttered, slamming the empty glass onto the counter. The bartender wordlessly refilled it, amber swirling under the dim bar lights. Ice clinked. The place smelled like citrus and old wood. I stared at the glass, my mind circling back to the conversation that wrecked my day. 5 years. 5 years of nothing. Not a single message. Not a single call. She disappeared like I never existed. Like we had never meant anything. And then today, out of nowhere, she called. I am back. I want us to start over. I clenched my jaw, tightened my grip, then took a long swig. The alcohol burned, but it was nothing compared to the fire raging inside me. What did she expect? That I'd welcome her back with open arms? That I'd forget the emptiness? The nights I spent wondering what I did wrong? I let out a bitter chuckle and shook my head. She was too late, too damn late. Judy. Her name had been buried deep, locked in a part of me I'd abandoned, just like she'd abandoned me. One phone call, and everything came roaring back, ripping open wounds I thought had healed. 3 years of love. Of dreams. Chasing the wind together. She'd been my partner, my rock. The one who stood by me when I fought my family and chased a racer's life. She fueled my passion, cheered me on as I flew across the tracks, pushed me to defy every limit. And then, one accident. One moment of weakness. That was all it took for her to walk away. I was broken after that, lost in a darkness so deep I almost didn't come back. My body ached, but it was nothing compared to the pain of her betrayal. I shut myself away, drowning, refusing to move. Until my grandfather intervened. He urged me toward medicine, a career with purpose. Coming from a line of esteemed doctors, he'd always hoped I would follow in their footsteps. If not for Judy, I wouldn't have thrown myself into it so hard. Now my purpose was simple: serve and care for others. The past was behind me. I'd moved on. The racetrack, the bike, and Judy no longer had a place in my life. But her call dragged everything back. I sneered, shook my head, and reached for another drink, one scotch. The soft feminine voice beside me sliced through the noise. I turned. Just a little. My body went tense when I saw her profile. It's her. Recognition jolted through me. Memories buried under years of pain rushed in. She was the one who saved me that night. The one who knelt on cold asphalt with shaking hands, pressing cloth to my wounds, voice steady while I bled. She called the ambulance. She gave me hope. I tried to find her after I was discharged. She vanished like a shadow at dawn. Then came Judy's betrayal, the depression, the long, ugly climb back. In the mess of it all, I almost forgot her. And now, here she was. Right next to me. A strange thrill shot through me, then dimmed at what I saw. She looked lost, the way she tossed back her drink, the shine of unshed tears. That tight, brittle set to her mouth. It hit something in me I didn't know was still tender. She wasn't drinking to have fun. She was drowning. A sharp pang twisted in my chest. I knew this posture. This silence. I knew what it was to sit at a bar and try to outrun ghosts. I couldn't just watch her sink. When she reached for another glass, I moved before I could think. Easy, beautiful. She paused, fingers hovering, and turned toward me. The past and present collided. She looked at me, just looked, eyes locked on mine, deep and unreadable. Something flickered there, raw and unguarded. Awe maybe, or something even louder. My pulse hammered. She was beautiful, more than I'd imagined, but pain clung to her, a dark eclipse swallowing her light. I hated it. Who hurt you? The thought wasn't gentle. It was a promise. Why are you drinking alone? I asked. Because I'm heartbroken. I want to numb the pain. She lifted the glass. Before it reached her lips, I caught her wrist, gentle, but firm. So she's heartbroken. Maybe from something like mine. I knew that cliff's edge. I knew the drop. The alcohol can never numb the pain, I said, easing the glass from her fingers. If you want. My intention was simple: pull her back from the edge. Her reply stole my breath. Kiss me, she demanded. Leaning in, eyes burning into mine. Something in me snapped, like a match to dry tinder. Heat roared to life. 5 years of distance. 5 years of indifference. No one had gotten close. Not really. But with her, the walls crumbled in an instant. Before doubt could surface, I closed the gap and kissed her. She's sweet. Whiskey lingered on her lips, warm, heady, addictive. A low sound rumbled in my chest as I pulled her closer, feeling the soft press of her against me. The kiss deepened, raw, unrestrained, my fingers sliding into her hair, my other hand anchoring her at the small of her back. The rush hit me, pure and electric, the same wild thrill I'd known on the track. And just like racing, I knew I couldn't walk away from this. That's it. She'd be mine, and I wasn't letting go with a stranger. Anna's POV. He brought me to a hotel. I was a bit tipsy, my steps unsteady. The door clicked shut, and he pinned me to the wall, crushing his lips to mine. I froze, dumbfounded. His aggressive kiss, his dominance, that overwhelming strength pressing me into the plaster, scared me. God, I regretted coming with him. I wanted to flee. Number? I can't. I managed, pushing at his chest. It is too late now. His breath was warm against my cheek as he pulled me toward the bed. Before I could protest again, he was on top of me, his weight keeping me anchored. His hands moved over me, not leaving an inch untouched. I couldn't tell if it was the alcohol or the heat of him that made my body answer his touch. Sensations sparked beneath my skin, building in a rush. In that moment, I wanted nothing but to sink into it. Slowly, my arms curled around his neck. I drew him closer and kissed him back. Oh, he smelled of alcohol and tobacco, sharp and heady, filling my senses until I felt dizzy with it. His kiss hot, demanding, felt like he wanted to consume me whole. I moaned against his mouth. This was going to be an unforgettable night. Clothes fell away. He led me into a world of ecstasy, where the sting of betrayal slipped out of reach, and all that remained was the pleasure he gave me. I cried out louder, higher as he drove me toward the edge. And over it, the next day. Ring, ring, ring. I jolted awake, heart pounding. I pushed up on my elbows and blinked at the unfamiliar room. This place. Then, like waves hitting a seawall, last night slammed back into me, his hot kisses, his hands on my skin, those mind-blowing orgasms. Heat flooded my cheeks. I slept with a stranger last night, I whispered, palms pressed to my burning face. What have I done? Regret twisted in my gut. The sound yanked me back. My gaze landed on my bag on the side table. I grabbed it and fished out my phone. Rose's name lit the screen. Hello? Where are you? Rose practically barked. Have you forgotten the new head of the department is coming today? A bell went off in my head. The head of the Oncology Department. I could not be late. I am on my way, I blurted. You'd better be at the hospital in half an hour, or even I won't be able to save you from the director's wrath. Beep! Shit! Shit! I hissed, launching out of bed. I shouldn't have gotten drunk last night. Anna, what a mess you are. I rushed into the bathroom. To my relief, the man from last night was already gone. By the time I reached the hospital, Rose hurried toward me. The scent of disinfectant and coffee heavy in the air. Thank God you made it, she sighed dramatically. I thought you'd be late. Why didn't you pick up my calls? Where were you? I couldn't tell her about last night. Anyway, Dr. Shaw is livid, she went on. He was looking for you, Declan. His name alone soured my mood. Last night's betrayal and cruel words looping in my head. You should go to his office, Rose suggested. I said nothing. The last thing I wanted was to see him. There you are. Declan's voice cut in behind me. He closed the distance. I've been looking for you. I turned away and picked up a patient file. I could feel his stare burning between my shoulder blades. I'll go check on the patient in room 106, Rose murmured, slipping off. Declan's hand closed around my arm. Where were you last night? I called you several times and you didn't answer. I glared at him. Seriously, he'd spent the night with Nicole. Why would he care about me? If I hadn't caught him cheating, I might have believed he was worried. But now, I saw right through him. I'm asking you something, he growled. Answer me. I went to a bar, I said flatly. You what? His brows crashed together. Don't tell me you spent the night at the bar, I snorted. He was acting like he cared. Why do you care? I scoffed, focusing on the file in my hands. He yanked it away. I was worried all night, wondering if you were okay, and you were careless wasting yourself at a bar. What were you thinking? The audacity. He'd taken another woman into his home and slept with her behind my back yet. Here he stood, righteous, as if I were the problem. Why? Hadn't I seen this double standard sooner? 10 years. I'd loved him for 10 years, since school, watching him in secret. Following him, never daring to confess. As his friend, I stood by him through everything. When Nicole cheated and left, I supported him, held him together through the depression. He said he hated Nicole for betraying him, and in the end, he betrayed me. What was the difference between them? Anger burned hot in my chest. I opened my mouth to fire back. Dr. Grey has arrived. Someone called. The new head of the department is here. A nurse whispered. I heard he's close to the director. Wow. He's handsome. Another chimed in, delighted. I want to be on his team. My gaze swung to the entrance. A tall man in a gray suit walked in. Confident, composed. My breath caught. Wait. It felt like my head exploded. It was the man I'd slept with last night. The well-known Dr. Lucian Grey. Why did it have to be him? He is a world-renowned oncologist, stayed abroad for years. Finally back. His family's filthy rich and powerful, but he chose to be a doctor, to serve people. The murmurs swelled. Everyone looked excited to see him, all bright eyes and whispers, while a storm brewed in me. I fidgeted with my fingers, praying he wouldn't recognize me. He walked straight toward me. Why did you leave without saying goodbye? His eyes locked on mine. Panic flared. He recognized me. I swallowed as faces turned. Curiosity crackled in the air. I wanted to vanish. God, this was humiliating. You know each other. Declan's voice sliced through the tension. Lucian smirked. Still watching me, I swallowed hard, scrambling for an excuse. He beat me to it. We happened to meet during an accident rescue, he said, glancing at Declan. A thin breath of relief slipped out. We worked together, he added. And it was amazing, he smirked at me, pointedly. My face drained. What is he doing? Why can't he forget it already? It was just a one-night stand. I wanted to thank her, but she left without a word, he went on, as if accusing me. The air tightened again. I felt eyes stab into me from every direction. Before this legendary Dr. Grey even arrived, half the female staff had been drooling over him. Oh, Dr. Grey, Anna is a star in our hospital, Catherine cut in, acid-sweet in her tone. Many VIP clients request her as their exclusive escort. I bet she was in a hurry to get to her next appointment. My hands clenched. Anyone could hear what she was implying. Catherine wanted to paint me as a shameless slut who didn't earn her place. She'd always seen me as a thorn in her side. I was the front runner for head nurse in the next evaluation, and she'd been talking behind my back for months, trying to push me out. But I wouldn't let her win. I didn't get here by luck or flattery. I earned it through all-night shifts, mornings that bled into dawn while I hammered at my thesis, and endless hours of practice to sharpen my skills. That's why I was recognized. Why should I give up what I earned for her vanity? Not now, not ever. But this wasn't the moment to argue. I needed to get out of the center of this storm. Dr. Grey, you're here. Dr. Harley, the hospital director, and Declan's father arrived with a broad smile. I lowered my head and edged back, trying to keep out of his line of sight. They shook hands. Lucian Grey, the world-renowned doctor, finally back in the country. Dr. Harley said, beaming, and you accepted my proposal to join our hospital. It's an honor to have you. I wanted to come back and serve my people. Lucian said, you gave me the opportunity. Thank you. Dr. Harley laughed, pleased. Let me introduce you to the team. He tapped Declan's shoulder. This is Dr. Declan Shaw, the deputy director, also my son, talented with great potential. In time, he'll replace me. Lucian's eyes gleamed as he turned to Declan. Nice to meet you, Dr. Declan. He offered his hand, a faint smile at the corners of his lips. A chill slid through me. Inexplicable. Declan shook his hand. It's a pleasure to work with you, Dr. Grey. Of course, Lucian chuckled. All right. Introductions done. Let's get to work, Dr. Harley concluded. I exhaled. Grateful no one had made a fuss over me. I turned to slip away. Anna. Lucian's voice stopped me cold. My heart stuttered. I had to turn, paced on a stiff smile. Dr. Grey, is there anything else you need? He winked, then laughed softly. You're the only friend I know here. Would you mind showing me around? You know Anna, Dr. Harley said, surprised, then pleased. Excellent. She's one of our most talented nurses. Since you already know each other, Anna, why don't you show him around? Declan reached to grab my hand. I dodged and stepped forward, smiling. Sure, Dr. Harley. It's my pleasure. I gestured to Lucian. After you. I walked away too stiff, my face set. I needed a quiet place to talk. He couldn't keep this up. No one could know about last night. After a quick tour, we reached his office. This is your office. I opened the door and motioned him inside. He walked in. I followed and closed the door. I exhaled. Finally, no one around. Thank you, Anna. He smirked, turning to me. You're as amazing as last night. He stepped closer. My heart lurched to my throat. My feet shuffled back on their own. Dr. Grey, could you please keep it a secret? What are you talking about? He asked, all innocence. He moved in, and I retreated. Last night, it was an accident, I stammered. We were both drunk. Well, I wasn't drunk, he murmured, voice low, eyes dropping to my mouth. I remember every second. Please, don't tell anyone, I pleaded. Keep it between us. My back hit the wall and a cold breath escaped me. He leaned in, bracing a hand against the wall. Why? His warmth fanned my cheek, and flashes of last night jolted through me. Last night was amazing, he whispered, lips skimming my ear. I shuddered, fists twisting in my skirt. I enjoyed it, he added, and so did you, Dr. Grey. He pressed a finger to my lips. Call me Lucian. I looked into his eyes and forgot how to breathe. Why is my heart racing so fast? Why can't I control myself around him? A knock. At the door, I pushed him back and smoothed my skirt. I'll go first. I opened the door. Declan's sharp gaze met mine. I tried to pass, but Declan grabbed me and pulled me into an empty ward. He bent and kissed me. Get off! I snapped, swinging my hand. My palm cracked across his cheek. Do that again and I will report you for sexual harassment. I turned for the door, fingers trembling on the handle. Anna, Declan said, voice cold. You think you can get rid of me like that? His tone crawled under my skin. Don't forget my place here. If you keep disobeying me, I can't guarantee you'll keep your job. A beat. I remember your mother's medical bills aren't small, are they? I couldn't believe Declan was threatening me. My hands curled into fists at my sides as disappointment crashed over me. How could I have been so blind to this cruel side of him? I won't regret it, I said with quiet confidence. I'm not afraid of your threats. I earned this job, this position, with my own hard work. If I have to start over, so be it. I'm not afraid. I turned on my heel and walked out of his office, chest tight. The tears I'd fought so hard to hold back slipped free. It hurt more than I wanted to admit. I scrubbed them away, angry at myself. Why cry for him? He doesn't deserve it. I shook off the sting of betrayal and headed down the hallway. A call bell split the quiet shrill, urgent from one of the VIP rooms. Instinct took over. I quickened my pace. I pushed the door open. A man in his mid-30s writhed on the bed, the white blanket twisted around his legs. A low groan rumbled from his throat as his bare chest heaved. His fingers dragged restlessly over his skin. I stopped in the doorway, unease skittering up my spine. His hospital gown was missing, his torso exposed. My pulse jumped. Why wasn't he dressed? I took a cautious step closer, studying his face. Sweat clung to his brow. His eyes darted to me. Another groan. Please, help me, he rasped. What happened? I asked, scanning him. And why did you take off your gown? I grabbed the clipboard at the foot of the bed and flipped through his chart. Admitted 2 days ago for stomach issues. Improved. No reason for this distress. His fingers shot out and clamped around my wrist. I flinched, the clipboard slipping from my grasp and clattering to the floor. My pulse spiked. What are you doing? He sat up abruptly, grip tightening. His breath was hot and ragged, his face inches from mine. Help me out of bed, he said hoarsely. I need to use the bathroom. Panic surged. I tried to yank my hand free, but his strength shocked me. In a swift jerk, he dragged me closer, his arms locking around my body. I froze, my breath hitching. Help me calm the fire in me, he whispered against my ear. I'll reward you handsomely. A cold shudder ran through me. My gaze dropped and horror gripped me. The blanket had slipped, revealing the unmistakable shape beneath. He was naked. His intentions were vile. Disgust and fear tangled in my gut. I fought his hold, twisting hard. Let me go! He pulled me tighter instead, his chest crushing mine. His hands roamed my back, fingers digging in. Possessive. My heart pounded. If I didn't break free now, he would violate me. You bastard! I hissed, my nails raking his arms. I'll report this. His expression twisted with contempt. Why act innocent? He sneered. I know what kind of woman you are. You serve the VIP patients and the doctors here. You're nothing but a high-paid slut. The words hit me like a slap. Catherine's rumors thrown in my face. My fists clenched. I would not let this define me. I refuse to be humiliated. Leave me alone, I snapped, shoving him with everything I had. My chest rose and fell with anger. I don't know what lies you've heard, but I am not that kind of person. I met his gaze, unwavering. And this incident, I'll report it. Let's see if the hospital still keeps you here after they find out what you've done. I tore myself free and stormed out. Hey, you slut! He shouted after me, curses flying. I didn't falter. Enough is enough. This had to end. I marched straight to the risk management department. The moment I stepped inside, I laid out the entire incident, expecting swift action. Instead of outrage, I met hesitation. You need to calm down and reconsider, the woman behind the desk said. Her tone almost detached. Disbelief crashed over me. That man sexually harassed me, and you want me to calm down. I snapped, my hands gripping the edge of the desk. I understand your concern, she sighed. But this is a VIP patient. A wealthy man. With his connections, he can cause trouble for the hospital. We can't take direct action against him without proper evaluation. Evaluation? What evaluation do you need? I shouted. I am the victim. I'm telling you everything. What more do you need? Please, lower your voice, she warned, casting a wary glance around the office. I need to talk to your supervisor first. She picked up the intercom and dialed. Hello, Catherine. This is the Risk Management Department. Can you come down here for a while? We have a pressing issue. My stomach twisted at the name. Catherine, the one who'd spread those disgusting rumors, and now she was the one they were calling to judge me. Faith. Gone. The woman hung up and looked at me. She is on her way, she said, cutting through my spiraling thoughts. We'll discuss this calmly and come to a solution. Please take a seat. I huffed and dropped into the chair, arms crossed tight over my chest. I'd come here seeking justice, and instead I was under a microscope. My truth on trial. And deep down, I already knew I was on my own. A few moments later, Catherine strutted in, her sharp gaze landing on me. It's you, she scoffed. Why is it always you when there's trouble? What did you do this time? I opened my mouth to respond. But the woman behind the desk spoke first. She is here to report a case of sexual harassment, she explained. A patient groped her while she was attending to him. But since he's a VIP, I wanted to discuss the matter with you before taking action. Catherine let out a sharp laugh. Sexual harassment by a VIP patient? Are you serious, Anna? The smugness on her face fanned the flames in my chest. This isn't funny, I seethed, my voice trembling with anger. He tried to. Save it! Catherine cut me off, raising a dismissive hand. I already know everything he was shouting earlier, and I went to check on him. He told me exactly what happened. She stepped closer, eyes gleaming with cruel satisfaction. He asked for help getting out of bed to use the bathroom, and you took the opportunity to seduce him. When he rejected you, you got mad and ran here to report him. How utterly shameless can you be? A gasp escaped the woman behind the desk, her eyes widening. My stomach dropped. I stared at Catherine, disbelief colliding with rage. I seduced him. That's complete bullshit. He's... Anna, Catherine snapped. Stop making a nuisance of yourself. I know you too well. The moment you see a wealthy man, you can't help but throw yourself at him. Now go apologize to him. Immediately. Apologize. Heat scorched my face. I'll never apologize to him. He is a liar. I didn't. If you don't, Catherine interrupted coldly, I'll cancel your performance payment for this month. I went still, trembling with rage. Indignation burned through me, bright and blinding. I opened my mouth to fight back, to shout. My phone rang. Without checking the caller ID, I swiped to answer. Hello. Hello, Miss Anna. An unfamiliar yet firm voice said, Your mother's medical bills are due. If you don't make the payment soon, we'll have to cancel her treatment. I froze, my whole body tensing as reality crashed over me. My savings were already dwindling after Mom's new medication, and my brother's college fees were still unpaid. And now this. If I lost my performance bonus, I wouldn't make it through next month. A wave of dizziness washed over me, fingers trembling. The call had already ended. Catherine's voice sliced through my thoughts like a blade. Are you going to apologize or not? I lifted my gaze, locking onto hers defiant. I was drowning in problems, but I would not let Declan or Catherine crush me. I did nothing wrong, I said through clenched teeth. Why should I apologize? Her eyes flashed. I didn't give her the chance to finish. I turned on my heel and left the department. The next day, I arrived at work at the usual time. As I stepped out of the cab, my phone rang inside my bag. I reached in for the caller ID, when a line of men in black suits surged toward me, cutting off my path. I froze mid-step, heart hammering. "Who are you?" Unease clawed at my stomach. They didn't answer. Rough hands seized my arms, yanking me forward. My phone and bag slipped from my grasp, hit the pavement with a dull thud. "Wait! Where are you taking me?" I shouted, thrashing against their grip. "Let me go!" Panic clawed at my chest as they dragged me across the lot. My cries for help rang out, but the area was eerily empty. No one came. A sleek, black Rolls-Royce loomed ahead. "No!" I twisted and kicked, nails scraping skin, muscles burning. They were too strong. The door swung open. They shoved me inside. I tumbled onto the back seat with a gasp. Before I could scramble upright, a rough hand yanked me forward. I slammed into a solid chest, unyielding. Strong arms locked around me like steel bars. Dread curled tight in my gut. I lifted my gaze, and my blood ran cold. It was him, the VIP patient, his dark eyes bored into mine. Amusement, glinting. A shiver shot down my spine. "We meet again," he smirked. Fury surged hot and fast. "Let go of me!" I thrashed, fists pounding his chest. He didn't even flinch. "Stop fighting," he growled, tightening his hold like a vice. "There's no use. You can't escape me. Better accept your fate and become my mistress." My stomach churned as he leaned in, inhaling near my hair. A cold shiver rippled over my skin, prickling like 1,000 needles. "You're so beautiful," he murmured. "I can't resist you." Revulsion twisted inside me when his lips pressed against my neck. My skin crawled as his hands roamed, creeping toward my curves. "Keep your hands off me!" I screamed, clawing at him with everything I had. His expression darkened. He shoved me away and slapped me. A sharp sting exploded across my cheek as my head snapped to the side. I crashed against the window, pain ringing through my skull. No time to dwell. The engine purred. The car eased forward. I lunged for the door handle, twisting it frantically. It didn't budge. I yanked again and again, desperation and fear surging. "You can't leave without my permission," he sneered, voice thick with satisfaction. As we rolled deeper into the lot, I caught sight of Declan's car turning in and gliding to a stop across the way. Hope sparked to life when he stepped out. "Declan, help!" I pounded my fists against the glass, voice breaking. "Please turn this way. Please." He didn't. He strolled to the passenger side and opened the door. Nicole stepped out with a bright smile, leaning in close, saying something only he could hear. My stomach twisted hard. Even as my heart ached, I refused to give up. "Declan, I'm here!" I screamed. "Please save me!" A mocking chuckle drifted from behind me. "The car is soundproof," he taunted, breath ghosting over my shoulder. "He can't hear you." His fingers slid into my hair, and a sick shudder rippled through me. "Even if he did, do you really think he'd come running? Look at him. He's happy with his woman. Why would he bother with you?" I didn't care what he said. I had to try. "Declan!" I shouted at the top of my lungs. "Please help!" For a split second, Declan's head tilted. His gaze swept the lot, like he'd heard something. My pulse spiked. "I'm here!" I banged the window harder, breath fogging the glass. Strong hands yanked me back before I could do more. "Enough!" he hissed, his grip bruising. I shoved at him, struggling, and screamed Declan's name again. Nicole tugged on Declan's arm, drawing his attention back. They turned away and walked off together. The fragile spark of hope guttered out. Tears blurred my vision as I watched Declan disappear into the hospital, his arm wrapped around Nicole's waist. He didn't glance back. He didn't hesitate. He didn't care. Why would he? He had Nicole. It was always her. I was nothing. My pain, my suffering, my very existence meant nothing to him. A bitter lump rose in my throat. A cruel thought slashing through my mind. Would he even care if this man raped me? My heart clenched. "Don't be sad," the man crooned, a mockery of comfort, pulling me in again. "I'll take care of you. Be obedient, please me, and I'll make you happy." Disgust burned through me, snapping me out of my haze. Sadness vanished, replaced by blazing rage. "That is never going to happen," I spat. I lashed out, slapping, clawing, fighting with everything in me. "I would rather die than surrender." "You bitch," he snarled, face contorted. "I'll finish you." He shoved me down onto the seat and loomed over me, forcing rough, violent kisses onto my neck. My stomach heaved. I thrashed beneath him, desperate to get free, but his weight pinned me. Then, suddenly, the car jerked to an abrupt stop. He lurched forward, grip loosening for the first time. Adrenaline surged. I shoved him off with everything I had and shot upright, breath sawing in and out, eyes snapping to the windshield. A car had swerved in front of us, parked squarely in our way, blocking us in. Hope flared in my chest bright and fierce. Lucian's point of view. I just pulled into the hospital lot, steering toward parking, when something froze me. Cold sliding down my spine. Anna. She was trapped in a backseat, palms smacking the window, tear-streaked and terrified. Through the glass, a man had her pinned, forcing himself on her. Then, the black Rolls-Royce started moving. They were taking her away. Rage lit me up hotter than anything I'd ever felt. I slammed my foot down. The engine roared, and I shot forward. I swerved and cut across its path, tires shrieking against concrete. The Rolls jerked to a stop, then slammed head-on into my front end. Metal crunched, a sickening, echoing crunch. The impact rattled my bones. I didn't care. I'd stopped them. Breathing hard, I locked eyes with Anna. Her gaze found mine wide, desperate, clinging to hope. "Hey, are you blind?" the driver barked, leaning out his window, face twisted with fury. I ignored him. Seatbelt off, door open. I stepped out, my body humming with pure, electric rage. I didn't spare the driver a glance. I went straight to the back door. Anna sat frozen, staring at me. My chest tightened, her so helpless, so vulnerable, beneath the ache. Fire. All restraint burned away. I yanked the door open and reached for her hand, ready to pull her out. A hand shot across her, yanking her back. "What do you think you're doing?" The man beside her snarled, eyes daring me. "Let go of her!" My voice came out sharp. "Lethal," my gaze locked on the hand digging into her arm. He scoffed, tightening his grip. "And what if I don't?" A smirk crawled over his mouth. "She's mine, my mistress. I'm taking her." "Who the hell are you to stop me?" Anna shook her head frantically. "He's lying," she cried, voice splintering. "I'm not his mistress. He tried to kidnap me." Her eyes begged me. Please. She didn't need to explain. I already knew. And I was going to make him pay. "You bitch!" he snarled, lifting his hand to strike. I moved first. One pull, Anna flew into my arms. He lurched. Off balance, his slap cutting through empty air. She trembled against me, breath broken. I held her close, searching her face. "You okay?" Tears welled as she shook her head. She choked on the word, "You." The man exploded out of the car, fury twisting his face. "Do you even know who I am?" I'm Billy Shaw, founder and president of the Shaw Group of Industries. I can make you disappear. How dare you interfere and take my woman? Your woman, I sneered, shifting Anna behind me, shielding her with my body. She's my girlfriend. When did she become yours? Anna clung to my arm, fingers digging in. I covered her hand steady. I've got you, Billy scoffed. Girlfriend, don't make me laugh. I know all about her. She's nothing but trash serving VIP patients at the hospital. She can't be with one man. She needs different men to quell her fire. Heat spiked in my chest, teeth clenched, fists curled. You bastard, I growled. His smirk smug, oily snapped something in me. Before he could blink, I drove my fist forward. He reeled, slammed onto the bonnet. With a choked grunt, for a heartbeat, he stayed there, stunned. Then he turned his head, blood threading from the corner of his mouth, eyes blazing with rage and disbelief. You hit me? He spat, wiping the blood with the back of his hand. You'll regret this. I'll ruin you. I'll make you pay. Do whatever you want, I said. But if you come near Anna again, I will destroy you. He let out a sharp, mocking laugh, playing the hero for a woman. Pathetic. His gaze slid to my SUV. A sneer, the judgment was obvious, as if the badge on my grill told him everything. He had no idea who he was facing. One phone call, he bragged, straightening his suit, and you're out of that hospital, your career gone. I'll see you banned from the entire medical field. You really want to risk all that for her? Anger detonated hot, blinding. A scumbag like him thought he could threaten me. I didn't think. I moved. My fist smashed into his jaw. He staggered. I grabbed his collar and drove another punch straight into his nose. A sharp, wet crack split the air. Ugh! Billy clutched his face as blood gushed. His eyes flared rage, shock. You broke my nose, I'll kill you. You bastard, just wait! I stepped in close, towering over him. If you think you've got the power, then try. I hissed. I'd love to see you try to hurt me. I pulled my fist back, ready. Enough! Anna's cry cut through the static as she grabbed my arm, tugging me back. Please, she whispered, urgent. Leave him. Don't mess with him. He's powerful and rich. Even the hospital sides with him. I don't want you in trouble because of me. I locked my jaw, fury still simmering as I scowled at her. She didn't know. She had no idea who I really was. That Billy Shaw was nothing. He couldn't touch me, but the fear in her eyes, the way she worried for me. It cooled the fire just a notch. I let out a slow breath. All right. I forced my voice even. Let me take you inside first. We'd barely turned toward the hospital when Billy's voice rang out, arrogant, entitled. You can't leave yet. You hit my car. Do you know how much it costs? You'll pay for the damage. I looked back at him, something darker than anger settling in. That thin thread of restraint snapped. He'd just started a storm he couldn't handle. I strode to my SUV, yanked open the trunk, and grabbed the lug nut wrench. Billy was still shouting. I didn't hear a word. I stepped to the rolls and swung. Crack. A spiderweb of fractures raced across the windshield. Smash. The second blow shattered it. Glass rained inside like ice. Hey! Hey! Billy's voice skittered across the lot. I didn't stop. I turned to the side windows and drove the wrench through with clean, brutal strikes. Each hit rang out shattering, splintering, my rage turning to sound. Billy went pale, rooted to the spot. You psychopath! He sputtered, scrambling back. You'll pay for this! I turned, tightening my grip on the wrench. I just did. His face flushed crimson. Are you crazy? You destroyed my car. I'll kill you. He lunged, blind with rage. I slipped aside and drove my foot into his chest. He flew backward and hit the concrete hard, skidding with a pained grunt. Before he could breathe, I had him by the collar, hauling him up. My face hovered inches from his. "You want to kill me?" I hissed. "In 1 hour, your entire family disappears without a trace." His pupils blew wide. The bravado cracked. Arrogance drained out, leaving raw terror. "Who are you?" he asked, voice faltering. Billy cowered beneath my murderous glare, his earlier arrogance crumbling to dust. His lips trembled as he forced out a single question. "Who? Who are you?" I leaned in slightly, letting my sneer deepen. "Somebody you shouldn't have crossed. Remember my name, Lucian Grey." His eyes widened in horror, his entire demeanor shifting. "Lucian Grey?" he stammered, his face draining of color. "You mean the illustrious Grey family with immense political influence?" I gave him a slow, deliberate nod. Understanding dawned in his eyes, followed by sheer terror. My grandfather held one of the highest political offices in the country. With our influence, men like Billy could disappear overnight. And no one would dare ask questions. Yet this fool had the audacity to threaten me. "Stay away from my woman," I warned, "or you'll face the consequences." Billy swallowed. He scrambled back on his hands, nodding frantically. "Sorry, I'm really sorry," he blurted, shaking. "I was wrong. Please forgive me." Disgusted, I shoved him aside and rose to my feet. Without another glance in his direction, I turned toward Anna. She stood frozen, eyes wide, staring at Billy as if she couldn't believe what she was seeing. Her gaze snapped to me. "What did you say to him?" she asked, confusion lacing her voice. I rubbed the back of my head casual. I wasn't ready to reveal my background just yet. "Let's get you inside first." I scooped her up into my arms. She gasped, hands instinctively gripping my shirt. "What are you doing?" "Put me down. I can walk by myself." I held her tighter, carrying her effortlessly. "Don't move," I warned. "If you fall, I won't be responsible." She stiffened in my arms, then huffed in defeat. To my satisfaction, she hesitantly coiled her arms around my neck, securing herself. A smirk tugged at my lips. As I carried her inside, my peripheral vision caught Declan standing in the hallway. I met his gaze for the briefest second, then smirked. Without breaking stride, I stepped into my chamber and kicked the door shut behind me with a dull thud, blocking him out completely. Declan's POV. I clenched my fists as I watched Lucian disappear behind the door with Anna still in his arms. A bitter taste filled my mouth. Anna, with Lucian, when did they get so close? A hand tugged at mine, pulling me back to reality. "Declan?" Nicole's voice was soft, almost hesitant. "What are you looking at?" I exhaled sharply, forcing my expression to neutral. "Nothing," I muttered, cold. Her gaze slid toward the closed door. But I didn't give her time to pry. "Your test is done," I said, tone clipped. "The report will be ready by tomorrow. You should leave now." I strode into my office, my mind a tangle of frustration, rage, and restlessness. I couldn't shake the image of Anna in Lucian's arms. "Declan!" Nicole's voice rang out again, and a second later she stepped into my office after me. I exhaled, already at my limit. "Listen to me," she pleaded. I raised a hand to cut her off. "This is my workplace. You can't just show up whenever you please. I have work to do. Leave now." I headed for my chair, but her arms wrapped around my waist from behind, clinging to me. I went rigid. "Why are you avoiding me?" she whispered. "I thought we had made up." A low, humorless sound slipped from me as my jaw tightened. A year ago, she left me without hesitation, chose her acting career over me, and now Now she thought she could just waltz back in and expect me to forget. I hadn't forgiven her. With a cold expression, I peeled her hands off and stepped out of her reach. 5 years. My voice was calm, sharp as a blade as I turned to face her. We dated for 5 years. I thought we had a future. The night I planned to propose, you left. You threw everything away like it meant nothing. My glare pinned her. You really think I'll just forgive you and take you back? Not happening. Nicole's lips trembled, but she fought it down with a desperate plea. I know I made a mistake. She grasped my wrist. I was foolish. I thought my career should come first, but the moment I left you, I realized you were my everything. I knew I'd made the biggest mistake of my life. That's why I came back. She stepped closer, palm to my cheek, eyes brimming with longing. Give me a chance, she whispered. I'll make it up to you. I swatted her hand away and turned back to my desk. I sank into my chair, ready to end this. She had other plans. Before I could react, Nicole slid onto my lap, her arms winding around my neck. My muscles stiffened. Her lips curved into a sultry smile as she traced a slow finger down my jaw. I know how to make you happy, she purred. I shoved her hand aside, patience thinning. This is an office, I growled, warning in every syllable. Don't. But she didn't stop. Her fingers drifted down my shoulders, tracing the lines of my chest. Just relax, she murmured, lips grazing mine. Let me take care of you. My breathing hitched as she kissed me, her fingers slipping between the buttons of my shirt, rubbing heat into my skin. A groan tore from me. Then I kissed her back, hungry, reckless. We broke apart, breathless, staring at each other. My pulse thundered. She slid from my lap to her knees, gaze never leaving mine. My hands gripped the armrests. She worked my belt, then the button, the zip. Precise, unhurried. The sound escaped as her palm pressed over the hard line beneath my trousers. She smirked as she freed me from the confines. I gasped, vision darkening with raw need. Her touch was warm and maddening, teasing in slow, deliberate strokes. Fuck, Nicole. My head fell back against the chair. You're driving me crazy. Her rhythm tightened. Just enough. The muscles in my body pulled taut, my fingers digging into the armrests. Then, her mouth closed over me. Hot, relentless, her tongue teasing, circling, pulling me toward the edge. A rough sigh ripped out of me, my eyes rolling back. Every movement was a surge, a promise, a plunge. My hips clenched, thighs tight close. So close. And then, Anna's face flashed through my mind. With a shudder, I came, the world going white, breath tearing from my chest. Anna's face lingered in my head. Why? The question gnawed at me. Why was I thinking about her now? A storm of confusion and frustration roared through me. I should have been consumed by the heat of the moment. But instead, a different fire burned. One I couldn't name. Nicole stood and leaned in, arms reaching to pull me back. I caught her wrists, stopping her before she touched me. Enough, I exhaled. Rising, I fastened my trousers and straightened my shirt. This is my office. Anyone can walk in. You should leave now. She hesitated, lips parting as if to argue, but I shut her down with a sharp glance. Leave, Nicole. A scoff snapped from her before she spun on her heel and stormed out. Slamming the door, I dragged a hand over my face, exhaling hard. My pulse was still erratic, but for all the wrong reasons. Leaning against the desk, I pressed my fingers into the wood. What the hell is happening to me? I muttered. Anna was supposed to be a distraction, just another fleeting presence. I didn't love her. I'd convinced myself of that. So why did my insides twist when I saw her in Lucian's arms? A slow, seething anger coiled inside me, tightening its grip. My hands curled into fists, my jaw locked, number. I couldn't let her go. Even if I didn't love her, I wouldn't let her leave me and be with another man.